Hello everybody, it's Kenneth from the Archives here with another video dipping into our collections and delving into Dundee's history. Today I'm going to be taking a short look at a very important image from our collections. And the image is this. It is a drawing of Coxs Brothers Camperdown Works in Lough Key that dates from 1887. We're often asked what our favourite or most important item is, and there's really no answer to that because every item is important in its own way, and every item we have some fondness for. We don't even have a most popular item because different people like different things. However, it is true to say that this is an item of historical importance and an item that attracts a lot of interest from readers who come to visit the archives. Camperdown Works was begun in 1849 by the Coxs Brothers and was greatly built up. And as you can see from this picture, by 1887 it covered a vast area. It's really important to the history of Dundee because not only was it Dundee's biggest jute mill, but its architecture became something of an icon. It also has world significance. At one time it was the world's biggest jute mill, and indeed so large was it that at its peak it employed over 5,000 people. And really it was the reason why Lough Key grew as a village and then as a suburb of Dundee. Probably the most famous part of the works is Coxs Stack, as it's called, this large ornate chimney, which thankfully survives to this day and really is a Dundee landmark. It's 282 feet high and was built between 1865 and 1866. It was designed by the architect James McLaren and one of the Coxs brothers, George Addison Cox. And it can be seen from virtually any part of Dundee. Even if you're in Broughty Ferry, you can see it peeking behind the Law. You can see it coming into Dundee from the west. You can see it coming into Dundee from the Tay, as would have been the main route into the city at the time it's built. And there's no doubt that it was intended as a grand status symbol to show how well Camperdown Works was doing and how prosperous the Coxes were. Now, another little detail you might spot on this that I particularly like is this rather crudely drawing train. Now, I don't think this is an accurate depiction of a locomotive of the time, but it is important because it reminds us that Cox's Camperdown Works was so significant they had its own branch line attached to it, a little stub of the Dundee and Newtown Railway when it was diverted through Lough Key, connected to Camperdown Works. And indeed, while that railway started to struggle for passenger traffic, it was goods traffic that kept it alive, and indeed kept it alive into the 1960s. Well, today, a lot of Camperdown Works is gone. Thankfully, some of it's survived, and you can see from this Dixon Park photograph taken from the Law in the 1990s, the stack is still very good looking, and some of the mills. And again, this gives you quite a nice idea of just how grand some of the mill architecture was. Work on the site ceased in 1981, and thereafter some parts of it were demolished. In the early 1990s, it was converted into the Stack Leisure Park with a supermarket, the Dundee Firmway Lowe's eventually taken over by Tesco, a cinema, a bowling alley, and a bingo hall, among other facilities. Many of these have now gone and have been replaced by shops, but the Stack is still there, and it does serve as a reminder of this important piece of Dundee history. Okay, well, I hope you found that interesting. Stay safe, take care, and we'll be back with another video in the near future.